The only trick I wonder about is how to get my mic to not be playing on both.
I don't know. I think you are doing great. I'm not hearing any echo. And now we are live on Facebook as well. السلام عليكم جميعا، مرحبا كل اللي عم يحضرونا الآن على الفيسبوك وإنستغرام. اليوم أنا في ضيافة الكوتش المتميزة في أمريكا وهي السيدة Amy Todisco. Hello everyone on Facebook and Instagram community. Today, Build Your Best Life coach Amy Todisco from the USA is interviewing me. So I'm going to give you the stage so we can start this interview. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Loubna. Thank you so much. So I am hearing myself echo back.
Okay, you can just mute on your laptop. Just mute your laptop from that sound icon on the.
There we go.
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Okay, and you can still hear me.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
And you have quite an interesting background, and I can't wait to ask a whole bunch of questions. But Loubna Ammer, for anybody that does not know, is a strong believer that we humans were meant to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. Totally agree. But we were meant, but there was a hidden block lurking in the dark. And she helps clients clear those blocks and achieve their goals by offering life coaching, mentoring, and private consultations. Loubna promotes her unique happiness and abundance mindset, marrying actual life experiences with skills that she learned from top academies in the world, including the United Arab Emirates and the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Loubna is the first transformational NLP master coach in Dubai. And I will go into other parts of your background, but I'm really curious to hear your story about how you got into this. What motivated you to become this happiness coach, transformational NLP master practitioner? Can you tell us about that?
Sure. Thank you so much, Amy, for this really nice introduction. Okay, where should I start? Where do I start? Where do I begin? Actually, this is something.
The beginning.
Thank you. This is something that I have never ever imagined myself doing before in my life, and I have never imagined even coming here to Germany. So you see, I'm originally from Syria, but I have been out of Syria since 2016. So I went to the Emirates, United Arab Emirates, and I stayed continuously there for 10 years. And I had my master's degree there in translation and interpreting. I had my 2 kids, I had my business, etc. But then on the backdrop of the war, the very unfortunate war in Syria, we had to move elsewhere. So first we went to Turkey. We stayed there a couple of years. And in 2015, we come to Germany with everyone else. As I call it, the big immigration wave in 2015. And I have been residing there with my kids and some of my family members ever since. Needless to say that I went through a cultural shock. I truly experienced the meaning of the cultural shock, even though I have been out of Syria forever. But it was only when I came here that I felt it. Maybe the way that we come here has to do with it. The fact that you cannot go back home because of the war that's going on there. That was maybe part of it. And we come here, it's different language, different culture. But it was really the sense that I needed to start everything from zero. Again.
And did you even speak the language?
Never. No. I learned here.
You didn't speak German.
Exactly. It's everything was really new, and my master's degree had absolutely no meaning, no value.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know. My past experience, my past connections, they did not do me any good, at the beginning, especially at the first 2 years. So I was really depressed, honestly, even though there were very nice people who were very, very supportive and who stayed with us all the way through. And they helped us a lot. But the fact that all of my past life meant nothing and I cannot do anything with it in this new country, it really brought me down. And I stayed like this until in 2019, I had my awakening moment. And you can say this was my transformational point, exactly. In 2019, I had this awakening moment. I thought, okay, why am I so angry? Why am I so frustrated? I'm here in Germany, and Germany is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It's very civilized. I am respected here as a human being. I have rights the same as any German citizen.
Wow.
Yes, and I sense that the moment I accepted Germany accepted me back.
Oh, how interesting. Okay.
It is very interesting because at the beginning we did not speak the language. We felt like strangers here, and the people they were also giving, they were giving this sensation back to us. Like, for example, you want to communicate with someone, and the cashier, let's say, you want to communicate with them, you don't know the language, then they will become really upset, and they would say, here is Deutschland. Here is Germany, so you need to communicate in Deutsch, not in English. Now, the funny thing is that after I embraced the country and the country embraced me, the same person would accept my broken German even, and they will try to communicate with me.
Oh, interesting.
It is very interesting. And I think that was the starting point where I started realizing that if you want to have different results in life, you need to start from yourself. Do not expect others to change. I am the one who need to change, basically. So once this shift happened, so many things started to happen again. And I love the saying. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, and it appeared magically. One day I was just flipping through my Facebook videos, right, and then whoop, here comes an advertisement, an invitation to attend a free coaching session for the mentorship program that you and I know. And I went there, I attended, and then I paid some money, and I went to Zurich to attend the paid event now. And from there, I signed up for the mentorship program. And that was amazing.
And what year was that?
That was 2000. It was May 2019 when I signed the mentorship program. And let me tell you, 3 years from that point, I am an entirely different person.
Yeah, so tell us, what are the main things you think have changed in the last 3 years since you signed up for that program?
Oh, so many things. First and foremost, and I tell this in every interview, I felt that I was a cave woman before. I was really hiding in my bubble, keeping away from everyone and from the world, and minding only my own business and my small family in my small bubble, not really fully integrating. I had no idea about how the world is running, all the updates, all the technologies. It was the first time that I hear the word funnel.
And here we are live on Instagram and Facebook.
I have never ever, even before that, went live on Facebook, for example, but it was no. But the mentorship program really helped me understand so many things. It took me out of my bubble, and from there, I met so many wonderful and amazing people, just like you, my dear Amy, and also I was introduced to Transformational NLP. So our mentor would invite other coaches who are experts in so many other domains. And one of those is the Constellation Guru, Michelle Masters. And she had a 2-day program about money mindset. So I attended that, and she talked about Transformational NLP. And I heard my soul calling loud and clear. I should sign up for the program.
So would you, for those people that don't know what NLP is, can you tell us what does NLP stand for, and what is NLP?
Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing question. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's basically how the language is helping your brain making new neural connections. Just to simplify matters. That is why in basic forms of training, they will tell you if you want to start transforming your life, you really need to mind what you are saying. You really need to be careful about the words that you are using. So this would be the beginning to make any shift. So instead of calling yourself names, for example, in failure, when we fail, this is how we are programmed. This is what we learned. We will call ourselves names. Stupid. I'm stupid. How would I do this and that? Right. But no, if you want to make a positive change, really, you need to be careful about the words. Words are very, very important. So this is the basic. The basis of NLP. Now, transformational NLP is, for me, I think it's the next level from NLP, from conventional NLP. Conventional NLP is amazing, it's really good, but transformational NLP has to do with the human experience. And there are also added tools and techniques to it. And for me, I think it also has to do with a spiritual dimension to it.
Oh, okay. Talk about that a little bit, because I feel like the spiritual dimension is becoming more important and more people are sort of waking up to a spiritual path as opposed to, organized religion type of focus. Not that you can't do both, but...
Yeah, no, not necessarily, because from my own experience, and I have been doing this for a while now, the techniques can be applied to anybody from any religion, and without even without even having religion has nothing to do with it.
Correct.
It has to do again with the human experience. So when the person feels that okay, I have had my share of suffering and pain in my life, and I have a repetitive theme in my life. It could be betrayal, it could be losing money, it could be a divorce, it could be bad kids, or health issues, for example. When they happen repeatedly, there must be a reason.
Right.
Yes.
Or a lesson, right?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Because I would always say that we humans, before we are male or female, we are humans. Before we are humans, we are souls. And this soul has come to earth in order to learn a lesson or undergo a certain experience. And we have the other souls, in our circles to help us, and we help them learn their lesson or undergo their experience. And something very nice that I have learned, and it really helped me, we really need to incorporate this in our mindset. As a soul, the soul itself is never harmed.
Correct.
It's this body, it's this human dimension that feels, and it hurts sometimes, that feels the pain and the agony. But as a soul itself, it's like it's protected. And this way, in considering hardships of life, because hardships are a part of life, and they are actually very useful, because they sometimes they push you to move out of comfort zone.
And I would also add that if you don't have any challenges, you don't learn as much. I find that when I think about monks meditating in the mountains, for example, by themselves, I feel like it's a lot easier for somebody to do that than to be in relationship with people, in regular life, because we'll get triggered, or, there'll be lessons that we need to learn in that relationship. And that helps us grow as people and learn more about ourselves.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I mean, relationships are hard, really. Oh my God. Everyone is like a tactical expert. Is a tactical expert. But luckily now we have the tools to learn more about people's personalities, about our own personality, for example. So we can learn really how to navigate relationships. And for me, relationships are really chemical interactions.
Oh, interesting.
It is really like chemical interactions, and we go through these discussions on daily basis, with my clients or with the people on my page, and also through my live streaming. I love this analogy. One a very example, for example, two atoms of hydrogen and plus one oxygen, H2O, will give you oxygen, right? But
Water.
when you water, sorry. Sorry. Yes, okay, thank you. But when you remove one and you add something else, then you have a different component. So relationships are really the same. We always talk about relationship dynamics. Most of the people, not most of, so there are so many people who would come to me and they are asking really in reality permission to leave their partner.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
But with the coaching and with the transformational NLP sessions, now they know why they are attracting this kind of partner. And when they make the changes within themselves, that means in the equation something changed. And in this case, one of two things will happen. Either the partner will be changed as well positively, and without even realizing that, one day they will wake up and they are both happy with each other. Because it's a process.
Right.
Yeah. Or the partner will disappear.
Right.
They will not be there anymore. And this explains why there are so many people who will disappear from your life without even saying goodbye. Their energy does not match their partner's energy anymore. That's a good
point. That's such a good point. So I'm curious who your ideal clients are. Who are the types of people that you are working with, and what are the issues that they typically come to you with? So we know relationships are one.
Yes, relationships, money problems, and this is very common, very common. So many people are out there are having money issues. So I would say health, money, and relationships.
Okay. And so if you were to describe sort of the ideal client that you have, if they're listening right now, who are they and what can you do for them?
Yes, thank you so much. Basically, they are people who have experienced love, success, health, money before, but now their life has come to a halt for some reason. For some reason, it's not happening for them anymore. Before, it was very easy for them to get another job or to get into another relationship, but now it's not the same. And they are investing in themselves, they are hiring coaches, they are buying programs and courses, but still nothing is happening. They are not getting the results, or the results are coming, but they are being delayed, or the results are coming, but they are missing something.
Okay.
So they will feel that there is a block, or they are doing everything they can in their power, but they are still hitting a glass ceiling. So once you have this feeling, you should know it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. Now, what happens is that those unfortunate experiences are generated because of your unconscious programming. Unconscious programming. And the programming, if I may expand a little bit about that.
Please. I was going to ask you to do.
Thank you so much. So the unconscious programming is really generated on two stages. The first stage is when the baby is still in the womb, in the fetus stage, until the first 2 to 3 years. And at this very early stage, we look at the baby and we say, oh, they are so cute. They only want, and they want only to be fed and to be cleaned and to have their sleep, and then that's it. But no, because the subconscious mind has no age. It has no age, the subconscious mind. So if there is a new baby, a newborn in the family, I need you to take a close look to their eyes and their faces. You will see it very clearly. They are trying to make sense of what's going on. You see it in their eyes.
Absolutely.
You see it in their, so they are making these calculations all the time, and they can compute very well how well they deserve to be alive. How well they deserve, or as we call it in the NLP world, their intrinsic right to exist, their intrinsic right to want things, their intrinsic right to want things that are not necessarily approved by their family but still belong to the family. So there is a group of intrinsic right that will be determined in this very early stage. That is why I always urge parents, new parents or existing parents, please be mindful at the way you talk and act around your new babies, because this little baby will decide for themselves, oh, they don't want me, I'm not wanted in this family, or the baby will decide for themselves, oh, I'm causing my mom and dad to fight because of me,
right?
Or oh, they cannot provide for me, I'm causing them misery, right? So you see, these things are all very, 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 very important to notice.
I totally agree with you, and I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Bruce Lipton. Have you heard of him before?
No, but I think I will. Okay, let me
so
write that down.
He's got some fascinating talks on YouTube.
Bruce.
And one of the things he talks about is that from in utero, when the baby is growing in the mom, until the age of 7 is when we basically become programmed with the beliefs of all of the people, the important people that are around us. So just like you said, the parents, and that would extend to siblings, teachers, classmates, all that. And that's where we get these unconscious programmed messages, such as you were talking about, like, oh, I'm causing my parents, problem, or I don't deserve to have money, or I have to work too hard. All the different messages that are happening around that baby are essentially being absorbed by them, like you said.
And it's really amazing.
So what does somebody do with that?
Yes, exactly, because that's really fascinating, because in the sessions, clients who are over 50 years old can remember incidents from when they were 2 years old, or even
Absolutely.
when they were in the womb, and they can remember the kind of communication that was happening between them and their moms. What your mom was telling you as she was breastfeeding you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So how does NLP help somebody unblock?
Sure, but first let me please talk very, very briefly about the next stage now.
I'm sorry. Yes, please do.
Thank you, Amy. So the next stage, usually it will be from 4 to 7.
Okay.
From 4 to 7 years old, this is when the next stage of programming happens, and here the child will start making decisions, also unconsciously, for themselves and about the world. Like a very common example also I would like to use, when a little girl will see her mom being abused by a man, for example, okay, by a stepfather or her father, etc. And then she is terrified, and she will make the unconscious decision that I don't want to be visible, so that I will not get hurt myself.
Right.
Or she might get the unconscious decision that I cannot protect my mom, so I will make the promise that I will be like her. I will share her pain. So when this little girl grows up, she might get married, but this marriage will not be long-term relationship. It will not be stable, because she will, due to this unconscious decision, which turned into a programming, she will attract the kind of partner, because it's all the programming is what generates the experience. She will attract the kind of partners who will repeat the scenario for her.
Right, until she can figure out what's going on and feel it.
Exactly. Or if she made the unconscious decision to be invisible, then she will come to a point and she will say, why I'm not attracting anybody? No one sees me. I feel like I'm invisible. I'm beautiful. I work. I have money. I'm a very good person. Why nobody wants to have a relationship with me? And this is, let me tell you, in my culture, this is very, very common. And this is one of the also common reasons why amazing girls cannot find love or a committing relationship because of this unconscious programming. Now you asked me, how do we change this unconscious programming in the session? We start, of course, by asking a set of questions that are designed in order to help us work with the maneuvers of the mind. So it's all about language and how the wordings is really communicating to the mind. And it's fascinating, really. It's amazing, because every time I try this, I'm just amazed how the mind is collaborating and it's delivering. So we store the events of our day as photos and videos in our mind.
Right.
Exactly. So what happens is when when we work on those images and sounds, audio, that are creating the emotions, then we will help the client have a different meaning of the experience they are having.
So I think you would call that reframing, right? Taking something that they believe, but seeing it from a different perspective.
Yes.
Would that be right?
Of course. Yes, of course, absolutely. Reframing is one part of it. Also in the session, there are magnificent tools and techniques to help the client reconnect with their inner child. And, working with your inner child is a huge part of the healing process. And then we also let the client connect to their future self. So this way we create
one of the pieces of coaching.
It really creates a holistic experience for them, because now we tackle the present state, and now we go back to the childhood stage where the programming was created, and we change the programming, we update that, and then we tie it to the desired results, or the desired state that they would like to have. And what's beautiful about this, once the updated or changed programming integrated, they will start acting differently without even realizing that.
Right.
So you see, with other kinds of coaches and courses, they are all very important. I'm not taking from the value of anything at all, but what I'm saying, we really need to address the unconscious blocks and beliefs. So once we do that, once we dig deep and uncover those, and only then the work will have sustainable results.
Right.
That's why it's very important to work with someone who is addressing your unconscious, I don't want to say issues, but your unconscious, programming
beliefs,
or limiting beliefs.
Yep. Yeah, and I sort of this uncovering of peeling the layers of an onion, right? So we're consciously aware of a certain amount, but through this type of work, we can dig deeper and understand things that we hadn't even seen before about a situation, or beliefs that we didn't even realize we had. Right?
Exactly. It's really amazing, and some clients, they have different reactions towards these realizations. Some clients, they would cry. They would cry because they are now in touch with what happened in the past to their little child, and they are reliving the emotions again. But now they cry out because when I see a grown-up man who is in his 40s crying, it's not this 40-year-old man who is crying. It's that 6 years old who is crying. And now I'm telling you this, I'm having some goosebumps. It's, and some of them, they get very angry. Some people, when we tackle these issues, they get very angry. You know why? Because, how I was deceived. I was deceived. I was wrong. Nobody told me that there was another way to do things, or to think about things, or to consider things.
And then maybe thinking about the pain that they experienced because they had that limited belief or this false belief.
Yeah, yes, and they did not
and how
know
it's impacted their life.
Exactly,
Yeah.
for years and years and years, and they had no idea that there was actually a way, and
Yes.
this way is available. All they needed to do is reach out and book a session, and they will be relieved. They will be relieved. But here I will make a promise in the session. There will be no more pain. They will not experience pain any more than they already have, and they are dealing with every day.
Yep.
So some people are afraid.
Go ahead.
Okay. Some people are afraid to undergo such sessions because they think, okay, I don't want to open my old files, we call it old files, and re-experience the pain. But no, there will be no more pain than you already in right now. Yes. On the contrary, you will be relieved because we will be changing things. Of course, they have to want it. They have to realize that, okay, if I want a new life, I have to go through this process, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
And like you said earlier, you have to change yourself in order to have a changed experience, right? We can't expect the other people in our life to change to suit us. But once we change, that impacts the other people in our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always good. You know, we souls, we are very connected. And what I noticed as well is that because we are repetitive creatures, so we get certain behaviors from our parents, which they get from their parents, etc., and we will also pass them on to our kids. But we can make this stop here with us. So when I do a session for myself, my kids are automatically impacted positively, because like I said, you know, in the soul world, as souls, we are all connected. And when I have something change in me, given this relationship chemistry theory, things will also change automatically, almost.
That's such a beautiful thing. So I know we're coming towards the end. I want to make sure people know how to reach you.
Thank you. Of course, anybody is welcome to reach me on my social media. I have a YouTube channel. And my page on Facebook, it's NLP for Happiness Consultant. I'm also there on Instagram. You just type Loubna Ammer and then there will be so many ways to connect with me. And I'm very happy to offer your audience, Amy, a free coaching session at the beginning, so that they can get a taste of it, and especially if they are serious about their change work. You know.
Well, and I can tell everyone, having done a session with you, that was phenomenal. It was so powerful. I went back into a past experience that I had looked at before, but you helped me to see it in a different way and really let go of some pain that was still there. And it was just incredible. So I think that the work that you do is just awesome. And anybody would be lucky to have an opportunity to work with you.
Thank you, Amy.
Because it is very powerful, and your energy and your presence is, I mean, everyone can see that just from here. It's just such a wonderful energy.
Thank you so much. It will be my pleasure, really. I mean, this is why I learned, and I'm still learning, because right now I'm not only a certified master in Transformational NLP. Now I signed up even for the next level of this work.
Oh, wow.
It's fascinating, really. All they need to do is
before I let you go,
okay.
Before I let you go, I want you to tell us if you have a success secret or two that you can share with us.
Thank you. I think my success secret is my desire to help myself, because at one point you will realize if you don't help yourself, no one will be able to help you.
Correct. That is a good one.
Even if somebody reached out to you and they give you their hand, they want to pull you out of misery or agony or whatever. If you don't have this inner desire to help yourself, you will not reach back to them. So if there is a message to everybody, please help yourself. Do not wait for circumstances. Do not wait for that job. Do not wait for that partner. Do not wait for that child to grow up and help you. You start right away. And when you start, I promise there will be a million ways for you to move forward in this journey. And the journey is really amazing. I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a process, right?
Yeah,
But the results are so worth it. Are so worth it. And you will notice
exactly.
every stage of the way, you will know that you are a different person. The hardships of life will not affect you the same way. Toxic people will
Mhm.
not be present in your world as they normally are. I mean, it's amazing. So please
Right.
do not waste any time. Just start immediately.
I agree with you. And I would say too, to everyone to think about, do you want to be in the same place where you are today a year from now? And if you don't, then, take an opportunity to have a session with you or, whoever appears to be their teacher at that time. But I do agree with you that we don't know how long we have on this earth. We might as well do everything we can to fully experience and grow and learn and move forward in our lives. So
Yes, thank you. That's very important, by the way, to know. So many people, they are very depressed. They think about committing suicide. But if you look at the statistics, and I don't have the exact numbers, you will find that the people who actually succeed in committing suicide are way less than people who are trying or attempting to commit suicide. So this
right.
tells you that you have a certain amount of days that you are going to spend here on earth. You will never be
Yes.
able to get out sooner. Unless you really requested that, or I don't know, unless you really want that. But I notice, that's me talking, that people
Yes.
who actually succeed are way less than people who are attempting. And with those attempts, they might there might come injuries, they might become
Right.
handicaps. So why would you do that? As long as you have days in your balance that you don't know how much credit do you have of days, why
Exactly.
don't you are here? I mean, you are here anyway you are here.
Right.
And
Make the
anyway,
most of it.
yeah, anyway, the sun will come up and then will come down at the end of the day, whether you're happy or not. So yeah.
Yeah. And something that I had heard too about people committing suicide, the ones that have survived the attempt often realize that as soon as they've, taken that step to jump off the bridge or whatever the means is, they realize, oh my gosh, I didn't really want to do this.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if you've heard that too. And so you don't want to get to that point. You want to reach out for help before that.
It's an incredible experience. I would say their soul wanted to experience that pain. And look, if you look for veterans for really big humanitarian causes, like people who have communities for the rights of the paralyzed, of other paralyzed people. They went through the experience themselves, so they know what the others are going through.
Right.
People who work also in this area to help people who want or thinking about committing suicide. Maybe they have experienced something close to that. They either attempted that themselves or someone in their family have attempted that. Cancer survivors.
Yes.
Right? So some souls, I think, this is the kind of experience they choose to undergo. And this is, by the way, if I may add, I know we are way beyond time. I'm sorry. If I may add, I would like to suggest or propose another way to think at a crisis that will happen to someone. Like when I know that someone is suffering from a cancer. So on the human level, that's horrible. That's terrible. Even for their family and people in their circle, that is even harder than it is on them.
Yeah.
Okay, it's horrible. It's terrible experience. But I would think, okay, what is the lesson or the experience that the soul wanted to learn by going through all of this pain?
Yes. That, Loubna, is something that I ask every time I have a challenge. and I've had, many, like most of us, I'm always looking at that question, what am I supposed to learn from this? And often you can see there are, beautiful opportunities, even in these very difficult times, that there are gifts that we are receiving that we didn't expect, nor would we have imagined would come from something very difficult. So, instead of resisting the challenges, I find it's a lot easier to get through it if we just sort of embrace it and ask that question, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Exactly. That's beautifully said.
We are so on the same page. It's really interesting. You're saying incredible things that I've thought
we are
of
like soul family members, or so. I don't know. But I feel so close to you already.
Oh, and vice versa. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, is there anything you would like to share that you haven't yet before we end?
I think I have shared everything, but yes, please try and adopt a different point of view to matters that annoy you or cause you pain. Mm-hmm. Because I have learned that there is always a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
No matter how horrible or painful it looks, or toxic even, but there is always something there for you to learn or benefit from. And just the knowing that as a soul you are okay. Mm-hmm. Your soul is protected.
Mm-hmm. And just to add to something that you already said, with somebody, let's say, that has been through cancer, they can then help other people who are going through that. So I feel like difficult experiences that we go through often can help us help other people, down the road.
Absolutely. As a coach, like you are a coach yourself, right? And I think you would attract clients who went through experiences that look similar to your own experience. So maybe you can relate to their pain.
Yes.
You can relate to their problems, right? So
exactly.
Yeah. So looking back at whatever bad that happened in the past, for myself at least, I speak, okay? I mean, I wonder, oh my God, this is really surprising how often people would come and I relate because I have been there. I went through that. But of course, in the session as a programmer, when I wear my programmer hat, I know that they are a different person than me.
Right.
So the way I consider my experiences, because in my world we don't like the word problem. It's experience. It's an experience.
Yes.
So I can relate, but I cannot impose my ideas. That is why it's my advice to anybody: when you want to seek professional help, look for not only for their credentials. I mean, the first call or the first session, it's very, very important, because then you can explore their intentions. Because some people, they want to impose their ideas on you. Or if you consulted someone else from the family or the friends circle around you, they might have their own agenda. So there is always this spiritual dimension where even when you ask for help, you need to go to someone who you trust, that they will advise you, but not from their own map, not from their own perspective, but from something to help you with your own experience. So in coaching, and this is very important, we do not give solutions. When I give solutions, and then I'm inviting the client to undergo another experience. Mm-hmm. I'm working to uncover the programming that is generating the experience. Then we update or install a different programming.
Yes.
So this
way, updating the operating system.
Exactly. Because look, the phone can update itself automatically, but not our mind.
Yes.
Because the programming, at the heart of the programming, no matter how bad the experiences it's generating, but the aim of the programming, it's like the core mandate. The core mandate is to protect the soul, is to protect the person and keep them safe.
Yes.
And if you want something very bad, but your critter brain here does not think it's safe, you will never have it. So you can do subliminals, you can write affirmations, you can try and reprogram your subconscious mind, etc. But if what you want And these are, of course, very unconscious. That is why you need a professional coach to help you with your unconscious belief. And I had this myself. I really tried affirmations, and I used to write books with affirmations.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and I did not get what I wanted. Basically, now I learn. Because I don't think it's safe. Deep down, it's not safe for me to have a lot of money, for example. And a lot of my clients, they share the same programming.
Yes.
For example, having a lot of money is not safe because you might be blackmailed, you might get kidnapped. Your partner may take most of the money. Taxes can take most of the money. You will work for vain.
Right.
So
there's a lot of those beliefs that are
yes,
in the way.
Exactly.
Yes.
So also with marriage and relationship, you want love, but you think women are deceiving. Okay. How?
So you can't trust any woman.
Exactly.
If you have that belief.
Even if you had the perfect woman or partner, you will do some self-destruction behaviors.
Correct.
In order to get out of this relationship and keep yourself safe, basically.
Right. And to keep that belief intact. Yeah.
Because it's mandated to protect you, whether you like it or not. It wants to protect you.
Right.
So.
Well, I think we need to come to a close, but I would definitely invite everybody to take Loubna up on her offer for her free session so that you can experience this amazing work for yourself. And this has been wonderful.
Thank you so much, Amy. And yes, please,
Thank
everyone
you.
who is now with us or who will listen to the replay later, by all means, please connect with me. I would love to hear from you. Ask me how you can generate different experiences. And of course, I would like also to invite you to connect to Amy, who is just an amazing person. And if I am in the USA right now, I would definitely sign up for your retreat because it sounded amazing, especially with the horse experience part of that. And of course, you can go back to Amy's interview and learn more about Amy and her programs as well. I think you are an amazing person.
So much.
I'm very grateful that we have people like you in the world, Amy.
Oh, well, vice versa. Thank you so much, Loubna.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. All right.
Okay.
So we meet again.
Of course. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye-bye.